It came out very colorful. It was every photographer's worst nightmare. Did I paint over the background again? It's a little different. So let's do it. Come join me now. Hello everyone. Today we're gonna have another fun video of creating art using our own photos or images. It's going to be a great process for anybody who wants to do something more interesting with their own photos, or they want to include imagery in their artwork. And today we're actually going to use a couple of new ways of creating our lovely artwork. So if this sounds interesting to you, come join me now in my studio and let's see how it works. As we often do, we're going to start with the background for our piece. We always need a good background. Even though the background is always in the background, I feel like it gives me a nice place to start, and it also gives me a direction for the piece. It helps me to skip the blank canvas. But obviously it's still just the background and it's going to be somewhat covered, so don't stress out too much about it and make sure you're having fun while putting it together. And by the way, the background today is going to be a collage. The fun never stops here. It's always fun around here. So for the collage today, I'm going to use painted papers, which I made myself with my gel plate. Obviously, you don't have to use a gel plate for making painted papers, so this is just one fun way of doing it. Let's quickly see how I made my painted papers. You can make painted papers from just about any paper you like. And I'm going to use this mixed media paper from Blick. You can add to the fun by using stencils or homemade stamps. I also like to use text and patterns I printed with my laser printer. And as you can see, I print on both sides. And I'm going to use mostly Blick matte acrylic paint. Okay, we have everything we need, so let's create our painted papers. I will definitely have to make a video dedicated to showing different ways of making background papers soon, very soon. And if you don't want to make your own collage papers, you can definitely skip this step and use artist or design papers or magazine clips instead. It's really not that critical what you're going to use, since, like we said before, the background is still just the background and it's in the background. But honestly, it's just so much more fun when you make your own painted papers. So I think you should do it. At least give it a try. Okay, now that we've made our own painted papers, we're going to put together the collage. For the surface, I'm going to use a square wood panel I got from Amazon as a set of 6. They are 8 by 8 inches, so it's the perfect size for my transfers. I'm going to post links to all the supplies I'm using today in the description box below this video. You can of course use any other surface you have, but I'm very much a wood lover. I'm going to prime the wood with gesso. You don't really have to, but I just like to have a white background for my collage. To adhere the collage pieces to the surface, I like to use matte medium, but you can use any acrylic medium or glue you have, like Mod Podge or even school glue. While our background collage is drying, let's select the photo we're going to transfer. Today, I'm going to choose one of the photos I took in Green Cove. Green Cove is in Virginia, and a few years ago, I decided to take a bike ride along the Creeper Trail, which is a 35-mile bike trail that goes through a few cute little towns and bridges and along rivers and old tracks, train tracks. It's such a beautiful place to go for a bike ride. I loved it. So the way it worked, the bike rental shop took us and the bikes in a shuttle up to the beginning of the trail. And from there, we started our fun bike ride. After riding for about 15 minutes, we arrived to a nice place and I decided I wanted to stop and take a picture. But when I reached inside my bag, I discovered I forgot to bring my camera. That's every photographer's worst nightmare. When I found out I don't have my camera with me, I was devastated. What am I going to do now? I was so far away, and my camera was in my car 30 miles away. Seriously, this is every photographer's nightmare. To be in such a beautiful place when there are so many photo opportunities, but no camera. I have to say I was so sad, but I had no choice. I had to continue on my bike ride. But not long after, we arrived at a place called Green Cove Station. It used to be a train stop in the early 1900s. And what do you know? The old depot building is now a little shop with snacks and drinks and, to my surprise, disposable cameras. I didn't even think twice, and I bought 4 of these cameras. And I have to say, the soft and beautiful images I took with these cameras are among my very favorite photos I ever took. I think the sun is gone and my studio is suddenly dark. I don't know if you can see that. I'm in the darkness. And now let's prepare the Green Cove photo for image transfer. Okay, our photo is ready now to be transferred. And if you like this process, you're going to love my book, the new mixed media photography book. It's available on Amazon, so make sure you check it out soon. And if you prefer the digital PDF version, check out the ebook. It's available on my new website, nitsacreativestudio.com. Thank you. For our photo transfer today, we're going to use a gel plate. And by the way, the reason we are doing our transfer today using a gel plate instead of the easy method we used in previous videos is because we're going to transfer onto tissue paper. And it's much easier to do it with a gel plate. Check out the basic gel plate photo transfer tutorial if you want to learn the basics of this process. The link to the video is below. And now we're going to put it all together using matte medium. Okay, so now we arrived to the best part, for me at least, and we're going to paint the transfer. Although I almost like the transfer the way it is right now. But we need to film the next step. So I'm going to let it all dry overnight, and I'm going to come back tomorrow and paint it. And speaking of painting, a few of you suggested that it will be better if I keep my paintings transparent so the collage background can show through. And they suggested I use watercolors to keep the transparency. That's a tough one for me to say. And they suggested I should use watercolors to keep the transparency. Yay, I said it. And yes, I would like to be transparent with you, or at least to keep my background transparent. But the problem I have with watercolors, well, it's not a real problem, but I have a hard time making my watercolors look bright and vivid. Maybe it's just me. Maybe. And then one of you, and I'm sorry, I just don't remember the person's name right now, suggested that I use acrylic inks. And funny thing is, I just bought acrylic inks. But I wasn't sure how to use them. So I decided, in order to keep the transparency of the collage background, I will try using these acrylic inks and see what happens. I hope I can do it and I'm not gonna overpaint the background like I always do. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to let it all dry and come back tomorrow to paint it. So see you tomorrow. So this is okay. I actually had a lot of fun today and I even like the end result. But to be honest, I'm not that crazy about this painting style. Not sure why. Maybe it's missing depth. It feels a little flat to me, even though the colors are pretty vivid. I think I prefer acrylic paints over inks. And I definitely prefer the watercolor crayons we used in the previous video. What do you think? Do you like this painting style? Maybe I used the inks all wrong. I don't know. I'm not even sure I kept the background as the... Can't say that word. I'm not even sure I kept the background as transparent as I planned to. I'm not disappointed, but I don't think it's as transparent as I wanted it to be. That's why I used inks, right? So maybe I'll give it another try. We'll see. Let me know if you have any suggestions for me. I always want to learn and improve my process. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful in any way. I, as always, had a lot of fun making this video. I do love making these videos. So thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye. Green Cove Station. That's the name. I'm sure you can say it. Are my very favorite photos. And I definitely prefer the watercolor crayons we used. And I definitely prefer the watercolor. And while our background go, it's really not that critical what you're going to use. Like, just like we said before, which is a 35 mild. I think it's 35. Painted. I wanted to say painted. But honestly, it's just so much fun and okay, I hope it's working now. I decided to take a bike ride along the creeper. It's creeper, not creeple. See you next time. Bye.